And welcome back to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes here on CW11. I'm Kyler Hope. This is Caleb Hart, and we're getting back to our favorites, the figure eights.
Let's put the four cylinders out there. Let's put a bunch of them out there. Oh, let's make it a family affair, shouldn't we? Let's just put a bunch of relatives on the track at the same time. As there's a number of family situations, fathers and sons coming up in this race, right?
And fathers and daughters.
And fathers and daughters, yes.
Yeah, it is definitely a big family affair on this Father's Day weekend, as we got the 13 of Josh Beckel filling in for Tyler Draper in that 13 SRP Transportation, father of Jackson Beckel, and his outside the 11 of Sierra Goss.
The second row is an all-Kohler affair. Talon Kohler the son, Bryce Kohler the dad. They make up row number 2 in the 19 and 19X.
And then we got the 42K of Tayden Ireland and her father, the 42 of Robert Smith, also in the field. So it's just all sorts of family out there. And to hit her outside is the 73 of Derek Meyer, sponsored by stepdad and mom.
Row number 4, Andrew Reinders in the 40, Damon Claiborne in the 43, sponsored by Central Welding Supply.
And then we got the 18J of Jackson Beckel, sponsored by JBR Racing, and the 57 of Michaela Larson, sponsored by PCOS Challenge.
Next row, 7D, Brandon Lindbergh, Cox Wheels Racing sponsored car, and the aforementioned Robert Smith in the 42, Honda and Toyota of Seattle, with Zach Bristol playing tail end. Charlie, we're green.
Green flag is out, and Josh Beckel in the early lead. Filling in for Tyler Draper in that 13 car, but it is a Kohler sandwich for Sierra Goss. She's got both of them to her outside and inside.
They're teaming up on me. Why? As they make their way through the North Pole again. North Pole and South Pole is the references here. The one you're looking at is Damon Claiborne. Gets a little bit sideways. Damon is just, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all here over the last little run.
Yeah, between the Hornets and the Stingers, it's been beating and banging for that 43 car, but he is up there trying to get the wheels underneath him and get going forward, but he's got the 42 of Robert Smith all over his back bumper. And Robert Smith, he is definitely a car to watch when it comes to Stinger 8s anytime they're out there.
We have seen him be very, very fast as he looks to swing to the outside of Claiborne. We'll look back up at the front of the field. Josh Beckel setting the pace. Bryce Kohler 2. Derek Myers is the car in the 3rd spot.
And Andrew Reinders in that 40. Normally we see him in the red, white, and blue scheme car. He's driving a different car. This car is actually owned by Robert Smith, so filling in a different car. Same points go to him for the 40, for having the 40 on the side of it, but not his normal 40 car.
Kohler putting pressure on Beckel early as this field is already stringing out. We're going to see some fun intersection action coming sooner rather than later in this main event. So far, so good for Josh Beckel.
Yeah, Bryce Kohler putting a ton of pressure all over the back as it's a couple dads out front having the time of their lives, leading over this impressive pack of Stinger 8s. But I'm keeping my eye on the 18J of Jackson Beckel, is currently sitting in 6th position, but he has shown how talented of a driver he is, for how young he is. As he gets into Michaela Larson right there.
Commentator's curse.
Exactly, yeah, but a little too much contact, as she's just going to give a quick little smoke show as she tries to catch back up to the 18J.
That is the old school 007 smoke screen to make the guys behind you unable to see and make you harder to pass.
And that allows the top 4 drivers now to check out completely, catching up on some lap traffic. That is Sierra Goss in the 11, but it is Josh Beckel, Bryce Kohler, Derek Myers, and Andrew Reinders, your top 4 with a pretty comfortable lead, I'd say, so far.
Yeah, slower traffic always makes things a little more interesting. Goss going to be there just running her race, and it's up to the fast guys to figure out their way around her. So far, they'll just tap her and send her off into the nether.
Sometimes you got to make your own way around another lap car.
Where there is not a hole, you make one.
And that is exactly what Josh Beckel just did. Myers getting a little bit loose there in 3rd, going into the south or the North Pole. That's going to allow Reinders to get to his inside and challenge for that 4th or that 3rd spot, that final spot on the podium. But they're going to stay side by side, which is going to allow your leaders to get a little bit more comfortable room up there.
I thought Reinders had him clear enough to get down and close the door, but shows you what I know on that one is Reinders battling back and finally has the spot secure, but took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, that's going to allow the 18J of Jackson Beckel to close in into the top 4 battle. We see him on the screen right there to your left. But it is still the 2 dads out front, Josh Beckel and Bryce Kohler. And it's been fairly calm for them so far up front.
How apropos on our Father's Day race that the two dads are out there showing the way around so far, and they're nose to tail. I mean, not exactly in this particular shot, but they've been no further than half a car apart for the entirety of this race so far. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, as they see our Goss there in the 11 going around. Hopefully she'll be able to get fired back up and continue on. She does, gets out of the way. As there's a big bump from Bryce Kolar, and that's going to bunch up your entire top 5, 6, 7 cars as they now have the intersection to deal with as well.
Yes, they do. It is going to be Kolar making the move, and unfortunately, Beckel's going to get strung out and lose at least 2 spots beyond that as he's going to shuffle from 1st to 4th in the exchange.
Yeah, that is a tough break and still going sideways, and there goes the sun waving out the door as he goes by. Robert Smith sneaks by on the inside, so it is quite the battle.
Good timing by Robert Smith. His right place, right time, and had the quick reaction to just get underneath and move up a position, although he gets strung along the outside and might be shuffling back a spot.
And that's one driver who we haven't mentioned at all yet, Brandon Lindbergh in the 7D. He's been very strong, won quite a few races so far this year in the Buzz and Steakhouse Stinger 8 mains. And he's been pretty quiet so far. I haven't said much about that 7D.
Well, he has worked his way up into the top half of the field at this point in time with over half of the main event left to go this time. Past that white stripe right there, that's the start-finish line here on our figure 8. It is 16 laps left, just over half the race remaining.
Yep, Bryce Kolar, father of Talon Kolar, leading the way right now, but got a mirror full of the 40 Andrew Reinders. And Derek Myers having a very strong run, probably his best run all year in that 73.
I want to point it out to you here on Kolar. One of the things that he's done very consistently to set up his southpaw turn, he actually enters with the back of that car a little bit wider, starting in and through the corner. That's letting him hug the white line in and through and make a nice, smooth exit. Look out intersection. It's actually gaining him some lap time and some ground over those guys behind him.
Yeah, and that's his son that he sees pass right behind him, right? Ooh, that was a really close call. Couple of close calls. Tane Ireland and then Talon Kolar. Oh, wow, this intersection is heating up very quickly. This is what you love to see. Oh, wow. Myers barely squeaking through.
And Robert Smith trying to take advantage as the car in front of him had to check up for just a second. Coming with these slower cars in and through. That one not nearly as narrow. The battle for the lead intense between Kolar and Reinders using all of the chrome horn on him.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do as we see Sierra Goss. Oh, gets a big bump from, that is Talon Kolar in the 19, who we just saw squeak through the intersection so many times. Sierra Goss was just coming back from pit road and timed her intersection crossing not very well, as that was a big hit. Oh,
wow.
That is not what you want to do when you enter the racetrack.
Yeah,
tough hit.
And headache.
As Talon Kolar coming around the North Polars, did not expect to see a stop car right there. As we're going to go to the drone view. You see Talon split some cars right there going into the North Pole, and then coming back around is probably looking more to his right than in front of him to time his gap, and
thump.
Tough hit there from, as you see Sierra Goss almost get a piece of Michaela Larson, but that was a tough hit.
Nice job by everybody else making the avoidance. Hey, Angel of the Winds Casino Resort sponsors this segment. Celebrate 100% smoke-free gaming at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Whether a birthday, gender reveal, excursion with friends, strikers bowling, or all things sports, Angel of the Winds Casino Resort offers incredible packages with exciting extras. Book your party package today by visiting angelofthewinds.com.
Always a good time visiting Angel of the Winds, no matter what. If you just want some good food or some gambling, some golf, anything.
Smoke-free entertainment and dining. It's a nice thing.
Well, we got some great entertainment. Not say smoke-free. There's going to be quite a bit of tire smoke, I'm sure, at one point or another here on the figure 8. As we got some good bumping and banging. That is Reinders and Myers battling for the second spot, allowing Bryce Kolar to check out a little bit.
Yeah, Reinders really got tagged there by Myers, and Myers is going to pay the price for it as backwards he's going to go. Got strung on the outside groove, and as they came across the transponder loop, Brandon Lindbergh's now worked his way to third.
Yeah, that's one driver I'd be very scared to see coming up on me when I'm driving these figure 8 cars, because he has been so strong all year long in that 7D, and he's going to work to the outside of Reinders now for second.
Reinders manages to string him out there and keep him single file behind him, not letting him get door panel to door panel with him and move him outside on a corner. So nice little recovery for Reinders at this point in time, but the top 3 now nose to tail.
Yeah, you can put a blanket over them very easily, as they were all hitting Nerf bars going down out of the South Pole, and we're going to see some intersection action here shortly, as we still have 10 laps remaining, just a third of the way left to go, as it is a tight 4-car battle. Brandon Lindbergh giving Reinders all he can handle.
Yeah, that is super, super close. You keep seeing Lindbergh try to sneak to the outside of Reinders, and Reinders is kind of making that car a little wide coming off the corner that forces Lindbergh backwards, makes him have to lay up and not pull even with him coming into the South Pole. Then Reinders goes on the attack in the South Pole, but still can't get anything done, as Kolar's just been perfect so far.
Yeah, Reinders definitely has the toughest job out on the racetrack right now. Got to defend off Brandon Lindbergh while also trying to attack Bryce Kolar in front of him to try to take over this race lead, but he's doing a phenomenal job being able to keep that 7D behind him for now, as we still have 7.5 laps remaining.
Kolar continuing to pace this field as they are strung up behind him, single file, your top 6 now all in there. One thing just needs to break for the chaos to happen here, and there might be the start of it, as Smith to the inside.
Yeah, Robert Smith getting a little bit impatient there with Myers, trying to work his way into the top 5. Not quite enough, or top 4 I should say, not quite enough there, as Myers kind of went on defensive mode, as Smith's going to come across the bumper of Jackson Beckel, and what a save from Robert Smith. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, it could have been way worse. Beckel saw opportunity, took it. Forward he goes and into the top 5 for Jackson.
As we see Damon Claiborne right there in the 43 pulling it in to that little bit of infield area, hopefully getting it fired back up. Not quite sure what's going on in that 43, but we're going to continue to watch this battle for 5th. It's the battle for 2nd really heating up. Lindbergh trying to find a way around Reinders.
These corners are just so consistent time and time again. It is Kolar in and through, and everybody kind of single files through here, and then Lindbergh kind of takes a stab at the outside groove getting into the North Pole. This time he tucks it into line, and I think he saw the slower car coming up in front of him and said, this is not the opportunity for me. Let's just preserve the spot, at least for now.
Yeah, very smart driving there by everyone in your top 5, 6, is Jackson Beckel coming up hard on lap traffic now, but we're getting close to that intersection action with just 4 laps remaining, and we'll see what Brandon Lindbergh and Reinders have for Kolar, as they're going to give him a little bit of bumper going down here on the North Pole.
Kolar recovered, but Lindbergh took full advantage, working to the outside. Here comes Reinders leaning on him and trying to push him out, but there's door panel. The door panel coming off the South Pole and through the intersection.
Yeah, he didn't bump you, he didn't hit you, he rubbed you, and rubbing's racing for sure, as there goes Brandon Lindbergh into the 2nd spot over Andrew Reinders. He has 2 laps now to get around Bryce Kolar.
Kolar has to know, new driver in and behind him, and this time there he is just on the inside, and all it took was 1 lap for Lindbergh to kind of wedge himself into the position. Up and around Kolar he goes. Now can Kolar fight back on the low groove coming through the North Pole?
It looks like it might have been Lindbergh at the line. Yes, it was, but we'll see what he's able to do. Here comes Reinders in, and that's going to help him a ton to hold off Bryce Kolar. Here we go. Last time through the intersection, they do it cleanly.
Down through the North Pole, and it's a last lap pass for the cash. Congratulations, Brandon Lindbergh gets the W.
And
2nd to Reinders.
And Jackson Beckel squeezing through there at the end to come up on the last spot on the podium.
All right, Brandon, it's Father's Day weekend. Can I make an assumption that this is your son here?
I hope so. There hasn't been no blood test done yet, but
I think you're probably safe. So you're the points leader this season. You were a trivia question earlier tonight. You had one heck of a race, came from a little bit further back in the pack, but that's just what you do, and you came out here with a victory tonight.
yeah, track is a little greasy for my car on the left-hander. It couldn't really get around there very well, but we made her happen. It was a lot of fun in traffic, getting bumped and banged from behind and bumping and banging, and had a great old time. Just glad to see all you guys out here cheering us on. Wouldn't be here without you.
So, Brandon, who need you to thank for being out here tonight?
I got to thank JBR, Cox Wheels Racing, Brandy Hood Promotions, and 2.5 Men Barbecue, my mom and Mike.
Hey, I don't blame you. I would try and grab that trophy too. But you had a great race. You were just so consistent out there tonight.
Yeah, it was just all about being patient and just trying not to get anyone's left rear or right rear, wherever turn you go to. And yeah, it's just all about survival from the very beginning and do the best you can in a fast or slow car and just hope for the best.
And it just seemed like to me, watching you in that race tonight, you were just picking your line, sticking to it all night long, and it worked out really well for you in the second place tonight.
Absolutely. It's just like patience Cody Hoops has done for years, and it's just taking your time for a little wisely and go for it.
All right. Who do you need to thank for being out here tonight, Andrew?
Robert Smith for letting me drive the car. This is the first time I've ever driven it, and definitely my parents and all you fans out here. It's good to see you guys and bring you enthusiasm. Let's keep it up.
So, Jackson, first off, tell us why we saw your dad out there filling in for Talon Kolar.
He was filling in for Tyler because Tyler's at a wedding, but, he's pretty washed up.
So you say he's washed up. He was out in the lead early on, but you showed him by getting the trophy at the end of the night, right?
Bryce got him a little loose, so I had to take advantage, but if this was rear-wheel drive, I wouldn't stand a chance.
All right, Jackson, tell us who you need to thank for being out here tonight.
JBR, my dad, my mom, John, Dawson, Brandon, everyone that helps out on the car.